So after a massive run-up, we recently witnessed Nvidia stock have a little bit of a pullback, a sharp decline, and I started getting a lot of comments and messages, DMs, emails from individuals telling me that Nvidia was an overhyped tech stock that is ready to pop, and I find it a bit alarming that a lot of these individuals are thinking that Nvidia is this bubble that's gonna pop and that I'm wrong about Nvidia simply because it fell down a few percentage points. Now, let's just clarify this, right? I told the Push and Profit private group back in December that Nvidia was gonna break out and that I'm adding this to my long-term portfolio. And at one point in the year, it was up 170% year to date. Mind you, we're only halfway in the year in reality. And so to see something up 174% and just have a little bit of a pullback, maybe 10% or so, give or take, it's not necessarily the end of the world. And we have to understand that pullbacks are healthy, right? When you see something just going up to the sky just in a linear fashion, that's a bit worrisome. And of course, things could get a bit frothy, but at the end of the day, I am still bullish on Nvidia stock, and I actually bought some more shares in my long-term portfolio after the recent dip, and we had a nice little rebound. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about a bit further and expand on why I'm still bullish on Nvidia stock despite it already having a huge, great performance in the long-term portfolio. But I also want to go ahead and play this clip from CNBC of someone discussing just the conversation of Nvidia and what their thoughts are. And of course, you guys are free to comment down below what your thoughts are. And again, if you're upset that you missed out on the run of Nvidia, don't be upset. There's always opportunities in the market, and that's why within the Push and Profit private group, we always highlight new potential opportunities. And so if you're looking or interested to finding some, nice, decent swing trades, consider checking out the first link in the description below, as I do daily briefings breaking down the macroeconomic environment and also sharing ideas of stocks that I like. And so if you're someone that was upset of missing out Nvidia, well, perhaps there's likely to be a lot more opportunities coming forward. So make sure to check out that link in the description below. But let's go ahead and play this clip from CNBC.
Is this a warning sign for this year's tech-led rally heading into the second half? Let's ask Dan Chung. He's the CEO and CIO of Alger. Joins me here at Post 9. Welcome back.
Thanks.
How would you answer that question? I'm sure you, like everybody else, is getting asked 1,000 times a day about Nvidia and what to make of it.
Seems to be all we can talk about. I'll just note that a great growth stock, a great company like Nvidia, is going to have a lot of corrections along the way. But this is another near-term correction. I think longer term, there's still a lot more upside in Nvidia. It's growing over 100%. The multiple is actually not that high in the stock because earnings and revenues have kept up with the stock, really. And I'll note that in April, it had a near 20% correction and went on to new highs just recently. So I think this is an entirely natural process, and I would stick tight.
You ever seen anything like it, though?
Well, I have. 98, 99.
Well, see, you yourself are making comparisons to back then.
Sure. But my view is we're not in 98 or 99 yet with AI. We're probably more like 96, 97. So there's a lot more to go
before the you-know-what hits the fan. you mentioned evaluation, and some would point out, those who follow the stock very closely would say, before the run started, the stock was at 60 times. Now it's around 40 times. So it's important to have that perspective, but nonetheless, they look at the price action in the stock and say, how's it possible for a stock like this to just almost go up every single day before this most recent correction, obviously?
We are fundamental investors, and I think really we have some of the best tech analysts and portfolio managers in the business, some who've actually come from the industry. So the key is simply NVIDIA's dominance in the industry. Right now, the shortage of capabilities in the semiconductor industry. You can't do AI without NVIDIA right now. And finally, as a stock, the multiple on our internal estimates is actually quite a bit lower than the market. NVIDIA has been consistently beating on revenues and earnings, and we think it will continue to do so for a while.
October 3rd, you made your call that we were in a new bull market, okay? We're up 29% on the S&P, so congrats on that. But this is a what have you done for me lately business, as you know. So now what?
Well, I think late. I think it is summer. We're heading into the blackout period for companies and buybacks. Earnings season in July will be interesting. The last earnings season did show some definite slowing in the U.S. economy, but it really wasn't around Nvidia or tech or AI. It was around the consumer, around industrials. I think we'll see more of that. But ultimately, I think we're going to talk about this AI tech-driven cycle being as big or even bigger than the late 90s.
So there were a lot of great points in this conversation about Nvidia stock, but I wanted to go ahead and hop into my laptop and kind of expand a few other reasons why I'm still bullish on Nvidia, to kind of make it a bit clear that I'm still bullish despite we're already having a nice performance on Nvidia in the long-term portfolio. But I want to go ahead and share why I'm still bullish, right? The actual reasoning behind it, and make it very easy and understandable for everyone to kind of follow along. So let's go ahead and hop into my laptop. But before we do so, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. It really does help out with the channel. But with that said, let's go ahead and hop into my laptop. Alrighty, so we are officially in my laptop, and I wanted to share a couple of things. Now, first off, one of the first things I wanted to share is this chart over here that I actually made. And I wanted to share this chart because oftentimes when you're looking at the, cash flows or the balance sheets or the statement of income operations, you see a bunch of numbers. And I like to convert the numbers into nice little pretty charts because it makes it easy for everyone to understand. And so this is scraped from Nvidia's annual shareholder meeting. And over here, what we see is a pie chart of Nvidia's revenue distribution for the fiscal year of 2024. Now, 47.50% of it comes from data centers, right? Now, we're going to go ahead and break down what data centers are so everyone could get a big understanding of why this is huge for Nvidia, right? This is a huge thing and why this actually matters. Now, of course, gaming makes up 10%, and I think gaming is something that's going to continue to grow. And then, of course, you have a couple of other segments right over here. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, I have this PDF over here. I was going to make it nice and pretty, but I think sometimes you just need to get the information out there. And so what is a data center, right? So a data center is essentially this large room or building filled with computers called servers that store and process huge amounts of data. So think of it as a library, but instead of books, it has computers that could hold and manage all information, right? Now, what Nvidia does is it doesn't build these data centers to sell to these companies, but they're vital for data centers. These data centers rely on Nvidia. And that's because, let's go ahead and scroll down on this little PDF here. So a data center just stores your files on your computer. Data centers store files, websites, videos, and other digital information, right? And so they run applications and services, and this is just for those who are not that tech savvy and just don't understand what Nvidia does, right? Because everyone's saying, oh, AI is a bubble, but here we have to understand this, right? So they run applications and services. For example, when you Google to search for something, data centers process your requests and send you results. Same when you watch a video on YouTube, such as the one that you're watching, that data comes from data centers. And so yes, AI has sparked some growth for Nvidia, but Nvidia is just overall going to do well, even without the advent of AI continuously growing, because of data centers still relying on Nvidia. Why is this? Well, big companies, we have Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Netflix. They need to store and manage enormous amounts of data for their services, as well as banks, to keep your financial information secure and process transactions, right? Banks, they leave comments on your profile and they change, things with the accounts, and all that information gets stored. Same with hospitals, government. So you have pretty much all these vital, companies, the large companies, vital, just segments of the economy, the financial sector, the healthcare sector, the private sector, all relying on data. We are in a data-driven world. This is not the 1920s anymore, right? And so understanding data in NVIDIA's role. So NVIDIA, they make chips, and these are called GPUs, and they're special types of processors that are very good at handling a large amount of tasks at the same time. Regular PCUs are like few strong workers, while GPUs are like a team of many workers who could handle big jobs. And essentially Nvidia is making this right here, and there's not a lot of competition of people who are making good GPUs at the moment, right? And so again, these GPUs help data centers process data faster and much efficiently, and this is an important task for as well as AI, as you need to process a lot of data quickly. So yes, AI has helped Nvidia, but even without AI, Nvidia still is a large player for these data centers, right? And so how does Nvidia's products fit in? Nvidia's main products are these chips which are installed in these servers when in data centers to speed up data processing, right? So, quick, I know this is very simple, very simple. You're like, Justin, come on, I know this, right? And if you do, I do apologize for that. I just wanted to share how vital Nvidia is, not only in just AI, but just the overall continuing growth of this digital economy that we're in. They don't have competitors, and everyone pretty much needs them, right? Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this, right? Now, this is something I like. So, while in the last 12 months, or pretty much, let me rephrase that, right? So, moving forward as a 12-month forecast, analysts, over 50 analysts, have concluded that they expect the consensus or the price target of Nvidia to be around 130 by next year. Now, yes, we did top over 130 recently, but then we recently fell down to 118, and that's when I scooped up some more shares, right? Because I like taking advantage of the discrepancy between price and value. And even in my own, actually in my calculations, I see Nvidia much higher when I do my DCF models, my financial models, etc. But everyone's model is going to vary differently. And so I like looking at what the analysts say. And so the consensus is that Nvidia, they believe it's going to be 10% higher. So to me, it was a no-brainer to buy it, after this recent dip, as the analysts still expect another 10% gain. Now, yes, we did already push up quite some bit for today. Let's go ahead and map this out. So at one point, we're at 140. We had this decline of 16%. Everyone's like, oh my God, the bubble popped. But still, the analysts expect this to grow to 130. Well, we had a little bit of a jump today, 7%. Easy, quick. I mean, this was like the easiest gain ever. I mean, this was just a no-brainer to buy in Nvidia. Now, again, you guys should only buy whatever you see value in. I know I don't really need to say this, but I think it's important that you guys should only invest in or trade in or buy or sell whatever you see value in. Now, if you believe that Nvidia is a piece of garbage that's overhyped, then by all means, you're entitled to do so. But I think there's a lot of bears who are upset that they missed out on this. You see this line over here? This was back in December, and I showed the receipts in previous videos how I showed that Nvidia was going to likely break out. And back in December, since then, it's up. At one point, it had a percentage point of 172% as a gain. Now, I did swing trade Nvidia a little bit in the trading account. I believe I sold right around over here. But in the long-term portfolio, I'm still holding shares of Nvidia, and I actually added more to it. And I know some individuals are going to say you're crazy, but look, we still have this idea that Nvidia is likely to continue growing, and that's what the analysts think. And I'm honestly a bit more bullish than what the analysts say. And one of the things I like about Nvidia is that notice how data centers, and let's go back to this pie chart over here, makes up a large portion of their business. And a lot of the data centers, they're not your average Joe consumers, right? So even if we go into a recession where you have consumers, we saw retail numbers slightly decline, etc. If we have consumers spending less in the economy, well, that's going to hurt, your average retail companies. Think of Nike. Think of, where consumers spend their dollars at. But Nvidia, they're raking in their money, their revenue from large institutions who, even despite a recession, are still going to have to continue growing their businesses, right? And so that's why I think Nvidia is still going to be able to weather the storm. Now, again, I could be wrong, and I want to put that out there. That just because I've had past performance, it doesn't mean that, future performance is going to be great, right? You can't say that, hey, Justin had a lot of great picks, in the past, it's indicative of the future. No, I could be absolutely wrong, right? Back in 2023, I was very bullish for Tesla, right? Then back in December 28th, I made videos saying, hey, look, I'm not bullish on Tesla anymore, and Tesla's likely to fall. And I was absolutely right, despite being called a clown when Tesla was falling down. And now, I'm getting a bit more bullish on Tesla. But look, hey, don't listen to me just because I've been right a few times here. I am more likely to be wrong in the future on a lot of things. But my personal opinion, I do think Nvidia is likely to continue growing. And with that said, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Nvidia? And before you guys go, make sure to check out this video right over here. I talk about what are the best days to buy. Definitely a great video for someone who's looking to trade. I do talk about, stocks from a trading and investing perspective. So definitely check out that video. And I'll see you guys on that next video there.